Because on Wednesday, alongside the budget, the government is to publish its revised planning guidelines for England. The draft policy was published last July, but it caused outrage among countryside lobby groups who claimed it was a so-called developer's charter. We sent Adam Fleming off to West Sussex to see what all the fuss is about.
It should be peace and quiet out here, but parts of the English shires are at war with the government over the plan to slash the guidance on planning from more than 1,000 pages to less than 60. When the proposals were first published last summer, there was an absolute outcry. Critics were worried that the government wasn't doing enough to promote development on brownfield land, and they were furious about an idea that planners should almost automatically grant approval to schemes as long as they were sustainable. People couldn't even agree on the meaning of the word sustainable. And here in Southwater in West Sussex, this patch of green demonstrates another aspect that concerns campaigners.
But this is a piece of ordinary countryside. It isn't national park, it isn't an area of outstanding natural beauty or greenbelt, but nevertheless it's very important to the people that live locally. Under current planning guidelines, the wider countryside is protected, but under the government's planned new framework, in the draft that we saw, there was no mention of wider countryside. So we're looking for the government to correct that when they publish the final version of the National Planning Policy Framework.
Some Tory MPs feel the same way, and as a result, we understand that when the final version of the document is published soon, it'll have some minor renovations to provide reassurance, but there won't be any major changes. Which pleases Liz Peace of the British Property Federation, as she explained to me at this fairly noisy building site.
Some elements of the document were actually unnecessarily inflammatory, and I think by some sensible modification, if I was rewriting it, I can see little bits I would take out, I would tweak. I do think, however, that the body or the lobby against it has been unreasonable, and our planning system in the UK is actually quite a good one. The problem is the way it's actually implemented. It just takes such a long time. And, you know, the old adage about time is money.
Back in Sussex, I found the planning notice for the proposed development that's worrying people round here. It's literally in tatters. The government's planning policy could end up the same way if the rewritten version doesn't impress those campaigners and MPs worried about the future of the English countryside.
Adam Fleming reporting. So let's go head-to-head on this with Simon Jenkins, Chairman of the National Trust, and Stephen Hammond, Parliamentary Secretary to Eric Pickles. He's the Minister in charge of these changes.